So tonight we're here with another local author, and the neat thing is that it's amazing here in our little Stone Harbor. Within several blocks we've got a couple authors, and it's been great to have them. And tonight we have Robert Chipkin, and he's written a book called Paws to Remember: The Wit and Wisdom of Theo the Golden Retriever, which fits in perfectly because oddly enough, a lot of people who pass by my bookstore that I put the dog bowl out for have golden retrievers. That's a shout out to Gail, who's got two. And if anybody knows, Stone Harbor has become a very dog-friendly town.
Yeah.
I think there's more inroads to make. They're trying to create some space for them and beaches and things, but you can just tell by the amount of people who have dogs down here. They're very proud of them, and they love them like dear family members, which obviously, if you've written a book about one, you definitely feel the same way. So my family, my father, who's here tonight, we always had red-bone coonhounds. So was Theo. Have you always had golden retrievers, or have you had other dogs?
Theo was really our first dog. Most of people who started having dogs when they have children, we had 3 daughters in fairly short order, all of whom clamored for a dog, and we told them they didn't need a dog because they had sisters. No sister ever believes this, but we thought it was reasonable, and it also kept us from having to show the lie to their continued promises to feed the dog, walk the dog, and take care of the dog. I said, we have a better idea. Your aunt, who lives just down the street, has a dog. And we learned quickly that what's better than having a dog, it's having an aunt 3 doors down the street who has a dog, because we could just send the kids out the house, which was fine. They would hang out with the dog, and we were all happy, no walking needed. And that worked out fine until very suddenly, at age only 6, that dog died. And it died just before Thanksgiving, and we remember to this day as the saddest Thanksgiving in our family. We had a tradition at the time that everyone would go around the table and say what they're grateful for. Everyone just cried. There was nothing they could be grateful for. And to this day, many years later, it's the Thanksgiving that everybody cried. It's known in the family.
So since you put your mind, in essence, in this book, almost like becoming a dog. What is it about dogs that people get so attached to them?
We found that they just seem to live well. They don't hold grudges. They are always glad to meet new people. It's one of the things that a short memory is a blessed thing. You remember all the good things and forget everything else. So we were blessed by having a dog at a later age. After that dog died and the kids left the house, house seemed awful empty. So we did get Theo. And we got Theo because my wife's sister then wanted to replace him. And they went off in search of one dog, and of course came back with 2. And since then, I was a columnist at the time at the local newspaper, the Springfield Republican, and I wrote one column in the dog's voice, and it was extremely well received. I had been a columnist for many years, and the most positive mail came from dog owners. It was sort of humbling at the time, where my mail would be a mix of it's good, it's not so good, but he never got a bad letter. So the editor of the paper noticed this and said, okay, we'll give him his own column.
I think people have noticed that because out by my street, somebody put a sign up, I'm no longer voting for humans, I'm voting for dogs.
The sad ending to the story came that when newspapers came upon hard times, they laid off my column, but they kept the dog. And I still, to this day, get people who say it was their favorite part of the newspaper.
Oh.
So when I retired, the question was what would happen to the column, and there were really only a couple of choices. I could die, he could die, or we could retire the column. So we decided to retire the column. But the ironic part was that shortly after he did die, at age only 10, he developed a case of canine lymphoma of the intestine, so bad that and so rapidly moving that even a canine oncologist said really not much could be done.
Yeah, we've all been there, and sorry for your loss. So obviously fond memories of this dog. If there's one thing that Theo taught you,
I would say it's to greet each day anew. I can tell you that his last day came in Stone Harbor. He would come to visit us He would come with us. We purposely got a house that would take a dog. We would never consider leaving him.
Yes, that's hard to
And
find.
it's hard to come by, but we found a wonderful house that takes a dog. Of course, it's owned by a dog lover. He would so well know this house that even though we came once a year, he could get out of the car and climb up the stairs right there.
They know.
Yeah, they know. So he was in his final days, and we asked our veterinarian, could he make the trip with us? And the vet said, yeah, sometimes the dogs perk up. And sure enough, he came with us. He did perk up.
Yeah, memories.
He went right up the stairs, and he made it his last night in Stone Harbor. By the next day, he went to his special place by the sort of side of the house and put his head down. And we knew we were not going to let him suffer. So we went to the veterinarian here who treated us wonderfully. And he spent his last day in Stone Harbor, and he rallied himself one last time to get into the car. We rolled the window down. He took one last look, and that was his last day.
Oh.
And we feel losing a dog is a very big deal. We didn't even know it was our one and only dog, so we had no idea how it is. It doesn't seem to matter how many dogs you have. Losing them is always very hard.
Well, I'm certainly waiting for my father to chime in. He's here and he feels the same way. And
people say the 10 best years followed by the worst one day.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
it's true.
we really enjoyed meeting you and having you and sharing your memories and stories. Obviously connected to dogs and connected to Stone Harbor. These books are for sale in the store. They'll be signed by the author, and we can't wait for your next visit.
Well, please do, and please feel free to be in touch. I want to thank you guys. You were wonderful hosts.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
very
you.
much.